Anyway, so um, it's out of Genesis. Pretty much, uh, Joseph has revealed himself to his brothers. He sent them back to get Jacob and all their families and the rest of the family and bring them to Egypt. And the brothers get back where Jacob is in Hebron, in Canaan. And so I'm just going to read verses 24 through 28 in Genesis 45. Um, so he sent his brothers away, and as they departed, he said to them, "Do not quarrel on the journey." Then they went up from Egypt and came to the land of Canaan to their father Jacob. They told him, saying, "Joseph is still alive, and indeed he is ruler over all the land of Egypt." And he was stunned, for he did not believe them. When they told him all the words of Joseph that he had spoken to them, and when he saw the wagons that Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of their father Jacob revived. Then Israel said, "It is enough. My son Joseph is still alive. I will go to see him before I die." And as a for the channel and the group that I'm doing this for, these are all are people that are standing with God in hopes of a marriage restoration. And one of those things that we have to do, and my wife and I experienced this some in the beginning and during all these years of our restoration, which has been it's going on about almost 4 years now. Um, and it's about realizing that some of this is not necessarily stuff we always need answers for. Uh, his brothers, 11 of Joseph's brothers, went back to where Jacob was, and what they do, they told him, saying, "Joseph." The first things out of their mouth to their father, "Joseph is still alive." And Jacob, but he was stunned, for he did not believe them. Um, Now, one of the questions, excuse me, one of the questions that really you would think of is, that Jacob would look at him and say, "What do you mean? Why you told me he was dead? Why are you saying that he's alive now? What did you lie to me all these years ago? Or why did you hide all this? Why wouldn't you just be honest with me?" But that's not what he did. If we go all the way down here to verse 28, then Israel, who was Jacob, um, said, "It is enough. My son Joseph is still alive." Um, that right there gives us the clue that says sometimes it's just best if we don't ask questions. We don't always need those questions. We always don't always need those things that we think we need. Um, we don't need those. Why did you? What were you feeling? And all these other ones all the time. Those may come in time somewhere down the road. They did for my wife and I, but not immediately. Not it didn't come real soon. It took quite a while before she really started asking questions. But also, whenever she started asking questions, I was in a place to be able to answer them and be able to answer them without problems or without getting upset about answering things. And so, whenever we look at that to say it is enough, uh, to me, that should mean that we look at the situation and say it is enough that God is beginning this restoration. He's found that the rest of the other parts of the restoration are where they need to be to where he can begin this restoration of the marriage. And that certainly doesn't mean that you stop growing towards God. First and foremost, you make that marriage restoration first God, then their spouse. Uh, but it should always be enough that we see the work that God is doing. We start to see the payoff for being faithful and being obedient and standing with God. And so, whenever I read this, it was last week. I'm actually reading a Bible reading plan that's going through the Bible pretty fast. But whenever I read this, I sat there and I was like, "Wow!" I said, "That's a great message. It really is." To say it is enough that things are becoming alive again. Um, And so right now today, I just want to take some time and encourage you to tell you that more than anything, uh, just simply take what God does, and when you start to see results of what God is doing, you start seeing those little things. Then just thank Him, just praise Him, just say, "You know what? This is enough. This really is. I don't really need anything else. I don't need all this other stuff done, or these things answered, or these questions gone through. It is enough." And so, and I'm not going to say that's not going to come. I'm not going to say that's not going to have a time that you ask some questions and they get answered. There is discussions, but it just trust that God's going to lead it in the right direction in the right time for you to even do that. So anyway, I just wanted to take a few minutes here, just kind of go over that part, and just thank you all, and just God bless.